Hello, welcome again to The Ace Talk Show. Of course, it's radio style. You know what to do. Just open a new window or whatnot, and just listen on in. Today, our topic's going to be about turmoil and prayer with a guest, and my guest is.
Hey guys, it's Yam Game or Trent. Either's fine.
All right. You can call me Ace in the conversation. It's basically my nickname in real life. So,
all right.
And if you don't mind, I'll be using Trent.
Yep, that's fine.
Pretty much easiest to do because I'm game's kind of
kind of long, yeah.
Yeah, kind of long. So, Trent, as I viewed on your YouTube channel, what is that, Mr.
MMM Kush. That's kind of long.
Yeah, I'll put the annotation on the vid here, so anybody who wants to view your channel and watch any of the videos, subscribe, of course, and leave comments, or if they want to add you as friends or whatnot, they can do so. So you're working on Turmoil then?
Indeed, I am working on Turmoil. It's a slow process, but there are quick ways to training it, and I am using one of the quicker methods, which is prayer brawlers.
Now that's on like a gilded altar, or do you have to go?
Yeah. Well, for the prayer brawlers are a drop that you get in PvP and BH Bounty Hunter, and they're considerably rare. A lot of people that PK a lot seem to have a lot of them, but they're pretty rare to get. Anyway, what you do is with the brawlers, they each have about 1,200 uses per pair of gloves, and if you have a gilded altar in your house, or your friend has a gilded altar in your house, what you do is buy your bones, whichever ones you're using, whether it be baby dragon bones, or frost dragon bones, depending on if you want to do it cheaper or if you want to do it faster. Obviously, if you want to do it cheaper, you would go with like baby dragon bones, or the medium would probably be dragon bones, and then the expensive way, but the quickest way, would be frost dragon bones. So you get your bones, you get your terror bird pouches or war tortoise pouches, pack yak, whichever you want to use or can use, and then you'd pick a banking location, which in PvP it's always good to bank somewhere where there's not going to be too many people, which would be like Mobilishing Armies or Castle Wars, someplace like that. I personally would suggest World 86. It's not very populated ever, usually around 90 to 200 people, which isn't that much.
Yeah.
But then from there, basically what you do with the prayer brawler method is you teleport to your house or a friend's house, using the house tabs to portal, and then either you'd have a friend there, or you would light your 2 burners and then start doing the bones. But because you're in a PvP world, it gives you 1.5 times the XP, so it's kind of like double the XP. If it was in the wilderness, however, with brawlers, it would be ×4, but there's no altar that you can use bones on in the wilderness.
Yeah. Which they really should make. I mean, that'd be one good suggestion for the forums.
That would be crazy fast prayer XP if they did a ×4, because already, I mean, with prayer brawlers and frost dragon bones, you get 945 experience per bone on a gilded altar.
Well, prayer is a real long freaking skill to train as is, if you buy them.
Long and expensive, definitely.
Long and expensive. Yeah, myself, I don't buy any items. I prefer the long, make the game worth it for myself. I get all my own bones, and I'll hit 99 when I do, and I'll hit max experience when I do. But I usually use the dragons when I'm using Slayer or something like that.
I did actually while I was doing my range. My range is one of the stats that I don't have like high yet. Most of my stats are 90. Mid-90s or 99 for combat-wise, but range I did 70 to 88 at Blue Dragons, and I actually collected the bones that way, but then I just kind of bought the rest. So
Now, when you actually, if you're a person to collect the bones, would you say it would be quicker to just bury them and keep the hides, or would you bank them and then use them on an altar? Means you're taking all that time to bank them and then taking all that time again to.
I would definitely use them on an altar because you can bury them or use them on an altar. There's also ectofunctus, but I'm not really a big fan of that. But between burying and an altar, there's 200 experience difference. So I mean, if you're training prayer, I would definitely say save the bones. If you're training prayer, because there's you bury it for 72 or 74 or 76 or something like that, and you put it on an altar, and it's 276. So, and then it's 383 with prayer brawlers, so even more.
So you would the time really wouldn't matter as far as the time it takes for you to bank them and then to pull them back out to use them on a gilded altar.
Well, if you are farming the bones, like killing the dragons for the bones, it'll definitely take you longer than if you were to buy them.
Yeah.
And then I mean the new prayers. I mean, in my opinion, personally, I feel that the new prayers are worth the 150 mil that it takes to get them. If you have the available cash, I would definitely suggest getting them. They're pretty awesome.
Are the new prayers, are they actually better than the basic prayers? Would you suggest having players do the quest that's needed, of course, the temple quest?
Yep, temple at Seniston.
Yep, and actually get the new prayer, the ancient prayers, or would you think the actual regular prayer? Yeah, trying to talk this morning. But anyways. The ancient prayers, would you say, are a whole lot better than the regular prayers?
There are a lot of bonuses to the ancient curses. Of course, piety is, it's good. In general, it's a good prayer. It's not much. Turmoil isn't much better than piety, but let me explain what Turmoil does. It increases your attack and defense by 15%. Plus 15% of what your enemy's attack and defense is. So, and then it also increases your strength by 23% plus 10% of your enemy's strength. So say you're fighting someone in PvP and they have 99, strength. That would, if my math is correct, that would boost your strength prayer bonus from 23% to 32%, which is a pretty decent bonus. Yeah. And then there's also, on the curses list, there's things like leeches, which are very helpful for PvP and PvM. You can leech, bosses, leech their mage attack, leech their defense, leech their strength, their range, whatever you may be fighting, whether it be God Wars, Corp, whatever. And then there's the other one that's 92 prayer, Soul Split, which is a life leech, where if you hit, if you hit damage on, say, a monster or a person, it'll take 1 prayer point away, and it will give you 10 life points back for every 50 points of damage that you do to them. So say you hit them for a 40. No, that's a bad example. Say you hit them for a 20. It'll give you, or 200. It'll give you 5. It's confusing to think of the numbers because when they change the doubles to triples, man.
Yeah, they know.
But I mean, if you kind of get what I'm saying, it's like a life leech where if you hit it for damage, it'll in turn put health back on your bar.
Yeah. So just to keep the numbers simple, if you hit 10, you're gonna end up gaining life points or hit points, whatever you want to use.
Right.
While draining your enemy's attack and stuff like that. Depends on whatever leech you use, or Soul Split, or whatever. I was looking at the basics. I mean, what you normally get for prayer right now, for let's say the lower level players, where you got protect from mage, protect from range, and so on.
Yeah.
It'd be well worth getting this style of prayer, the curses, because you got deflect, and that does damage to them, or to the opponent that you're fighting, whether it be monster or whatever, on top of protecting you.
Yeah, it protects you, and then like in PvP, if you have deflect melee on and someone attacks you, it acts as a recoil. If they hit you for damage through that prayer, it'll hit them back, and it also can take off their vengeance. It can hit their vengeance unlike a recoil.
Yeah.
And then also, real quick, there's the other level 59 curse, Berserker, and that's also really helpful because it makes your potions that are potted up last 15% longer, which is very helpful for if you're overloading during PVM.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So all around, it would really be on someone's opinion, but definitely, I would have to say I wouldn't go for curses. Probably until you could get Turmoil or at least Soul Split, because it's just. I think the curses are one of those things that you have to be able to use all of them to enjoy them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see how Turmoil can be the best advantage because anybody that's out there that does a lot of combating or PvP or PKing, whatever you want to call it, knows that the game is basically, as far as combat-wise, is based on your strength.
Right.
I mean, you can
strength
hit
and attack. Yeah,
strength and attack. And strength being one of the major ones that has all the bonuses with the weapons, the armor, and so on and so forth that you can wear, and then be using Turmoil on top of that.
And Turmoil is also very, very lethal with chaotic weapons.
Yeah. Well, not to mention the engineering weapons for sure. I can't even imagine the hits that someone could probably actually hit a monster or even in PvP in.
I mean, my friend, he was on a Slayer task, and he has Chaotic Maul. He had Overloads and Turmoil, just the max gear basically. But he had Chaotic Maul with Turmoil, and even though he was on a Slayer task, he was hitting in the 700s and 800s with Chaotic Maul on KBD. So
it's pretty damn
pretty
good.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's just insane. Definitely, if you do a lot of PvP, if that's your main source of, let's say, RuneScape income, you know. Yeah, I would actually say these look a whole lot better to be used for mainly PvP instead of PVM.
Yeah, it kind of balances out, really. I mean, if you look at some of the maxed Corp teams or maxed Bandos teams, I mean, any of them will tell you that you'll look on their requirements for a lot of their big clans like OTG or World 77 Crash Unit or just some of those bigger PVM clans, and it requires Turmoil just because of how quick you can eliminate an enemy, with those prayers, with those curses.
And you're talking about boss monsters, which can hit through prayer anyway, so you definitely want to have the curses, the prayer curses, instead of the normal prayer.
And in no way am I dogging piety, because piety is great. I mean, it's what the majority of people have, and it works. Don't get me wrong.
Well, that and the lunar spells, the lunar prayers, wherever you want. Well, the spells on top of it. Yeah. Yep. Say those probably stack up pretty well too, to be able to use the vengeance on top of using the curse prayers.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yep, that's one of the bigger things that I try to teach people with my PKing is how to venge combo. Say the best way I can explain a venge combo is basically when you're fighting someone and you try to cast your vengeance at the right time so that person hits you for damage, and then you hit them right back for immediate damage, so they have 2 instant hits, and it, boom, it shakes them up real bad. That's the best way I could explain a venge combo. I always try to teach, my friends that are wanting to learn how to PK. That's one of the main things. I mean, if you have Turmoil, a chaotic weapon, and vengeance, you are set for PKing. Even if you have whip to DDS or Karasi or AGS or D-Skimmy to claws, all those are lethal ways of PKing with Turmoil.
Yeah, that's for sure. Anything that has a major special to it for weapon-wise.
Yep.
Alright, that was the end of the segment 1. To hear more on this talk show and this topic, please tune in to segment 2. Please subscribe, rate, comment, and don't forget to check out Trent's channel there. I'll have a link in the annotations.